You're watching The Roach on Florida TV.
So, how many times have you been to Disney?
Oh boy, sheesh. It's in the hundreds. So, I mean, I was born and raised in Florida, and my mom kind of used it as like basically a big playground. She just would drop us off and let us kind of roam around. But I think the first time I went, I was probably, yeah, one or 2 years old. I've seen the pictures. I don't remember it, but I look like I was having a good time.
You know, so people hear the dark side of Disney, and I walked away from it kind of, yeah, you were looking for new thrills as you became an adult. Maybe not
Yeah.
so many good thrills, not all the thrills that Disney would always love, but I think you were just a grown-up looking, here's another side of it all. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. You can only go on, Space Mountain so many times before it stops being thrilling. And I had an annual pass, or a three-season salute pass they had at the time, and I would go there, dozens of times a year, and it did. It got a little old. It got a little boring. And me being a naturally curious and inquisitive person started thinking, how are the magic tricks done? What's behind the scenes? Like, I've been seeing, the way I kind of describe it is, I've been living in this house for 30 years or 20 years, whatever, and I'd never been in the basement. And it started to seem kind of weird because I knew the place like the back of my hand. I could walk around just by the smells and the sounds with my eyes closed. And when I found out that there was this whole other side to the parks, these underground tunnels, these behind the scene things, I got so intrigued and so fascinated by that.
Okay, dude, so of all the crazy and illegal things you've done there or your friends have done, I think one of the things that fascinated me and people, I don't know, I guess they sort of talk about there. By the way, I'm at Disney almost every week.
Okay.
I go with my family, love it like you do, and think it's truly one of the cool places just to go walk around and hang out and whatever. But the underground tunnels, talk about that. You've been down there.
Yeah, and this was pre-internet, so it just wasn't. No one knew about it, and I had heard rumors from friends of mine who had started working there, and they were like, "There's all these tunnels, and there's secret doors, and they're hidden in plain sight." And again, I've been to this park, however many times, and never knew this, never saw any doors. And they really are hidden in plain sight. They just look like part of the scenery or part of the architecture. And the first time I went down there, my mind was blown. There's a whole city underneath that park. It's absolutely.
Yeah, so real quickly, in case people are joining us, I want them to understand underneath Disney World,
Underneath the
Epcot, Magic Kingdom, there are tunnels underneath so that workers and characters and that aren't seen walking across the park. They're literally underground.
That's right. So because Florida is on, below sea level, they couldn't actually dig underground. So the UTILDORS are actually the first level of the park, and then the Magic Kingdom is the second level. But yeah, you're exactly right. It's for the employees who can go get their costumes, get changed, walk from one part of the park to the other without being. Walt's example was he didn't want to see a cowboy in Tomorrowland. So they can duck under the tunnels and go out into Frontierland. There's employee cafeteria down there, a bank down there, just everything you could think of. It really is an entire city. Epcot's got a smaller version of that, and now, so back then, I was sneaking in there. It was totally unauthorized. Now you can actually pay to take a tour. It doesn't go through the whole thing, but if you want to pay the money now, you can do that, and you can actually see a part of that, which I think is really cool.
Leonard, you paved the way. See?
Well, I guess they figured if people want to see it, then they might as well make money off of it.
So did you get caught when you were down there, or were you able to get out and nobody really knew what happened?
No, I got caught all the time. Back then they were a little more lenient. I would just play, it was my first day of work and I was lost. Some people would feel bad for me and kind of show me around. Nowadays, because of what I've done, because of the book, because of the videos, every cast member is required to have a badge showing at all times when they're under there. And managers are told if they see someone without it, they need to stop them. And they really do that. That's not a joke. So the days when you can just walk down there are gone. And I should preface all of this by saying, don't do what I did, because you can get in trouble. It is trespassing. You can get banned for life. They don't joke around. I mean, Disney security is pretty hardcore.
Yeah, and rightfully. So now, what year would this have been then? Since it was pre-internet, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I was trying to think. I think the first time I went down there was summer of '95. So I was in college and had come back for the summer, and again was just bored to tears. And that's when I think the videos that I made, some of the videos were actually filmed with a pretty big. At the time, we didn't have cameras on our phones. It was filmed with a pretty big analog. I think it was a high 8 camera, just kind of held by my side. Wasn't very inconspicuous, but not like anyone at the time expected someone to be bringing a video.
Steven Spielberg in the tunnels before his time.
That's right.
So what did you see? Anything? Or was it just,
No,
right.
I think the biggest shock for me was seeing kind of the characters half out of their costumes, Chip or Dale without their head. Goofy without
Disney
his head.
loves that, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, Snow White flirting with Goofy, and I was just really impressed by how big it was. Golf carts are zooming around constantly in there. The other thing is it smells really bad, because in the Magic Kingdom they use pneumatic pipes for taking the garbage. The garbage gets sucked down into these pipes, and it goes down into the underground. So the tubes I don't think are sealed very well, and as a result, a lot of the places in the Utilidors smell like trash.
Probably if they're taking tours down there now, they've probably put some deodorizers or something down there. I'm sure someone can comment on it.
No more Roach on Florida TV.